Portugal is now ending its golden visa program. We're going to talk about why the Portuguese government decided to close this program and the future of residence by investment and citizenship by investment. I created videos on this months ago, and I highly recommend that you watch the short Portugal's Insanity Has Come to an End, and as well the video Why Citizenship by Investment Countries Are the Worst. Before we get into the juicy part, I wanted to give you some basics on Portugal. Portugal is a country located in Europe. It is part of the European Union as well as Schengen. Portugal has a population of 10,300,000. Portuguese is the official language of Portugal. Portugal has become increasingly more popular among wealthy expats, nomads, retirees, and the reasons for the increase in popularity included the low cost of living, or relatively low cost of living compared to other Western countries, the friendly people, the diverse country, cuisines, and of course the communities that you can access while living in Portugal. Why did Portugal decide to close its golden visa program? You may ask. Why did Portugal decide to do that? This program has been very successful. It has attracted thousands of wealthy people from China, North America, and also many other countries worldwide. If this program has been so successful, why would Portugal decide to shut the doors? And the answer to this question is that this program was a win-lose situation. And when I say a win-lose situation, I mean that one party won and one party lost. And I think in life, you want to have a win-win situation in all cases. We're talking relationships. We're talking residence by investment programs. I personally do not believe in citizenship by investment programs because it goes against the core foundational values of humans, of societies, of the whole structure that our ancestors created. So I personally, and we on this channel, our team, does not believe in citizenship by investment programs. We don't recommend these programs on this channel. We could do that, but we decided not to do that because our morals are not for sale. Coming back to the win-lose, we want to perform a little exercise right now. It's a really cool exercise that works. What you need is a pen and a piece of paper. If you want to do this on your computer, then that's perfectly fine. You can do it on your computer as well. All that we need here are two columns, right? Two columns, 1 and 2. First line, pluses on the left side, and on the right side you have minuses. So pluses, left column, minuses in the right column. Now the question is, what are the pluses and the minuses for the population, the people, the country? Because that's ultimately the only thing that matters. We want to focus on making the country a better place, not a worse place. And how we do that is by considering the locals, the country, the system. We want to make sure that we make the country we're moving to a better place, not a worse place. And how we do that is by not focusing on ourselves, but focusing on the community, focusing on the people of the country, because it is your responsibility to make that country prosper, right? You want that country to improve in many ways because of your efforts, because of your intelligence, because of your finances. You want to improve the country. You want to make the country a better place, not a worse place. Okay, so we're in column A now, the pluses. We can clearly see that, and that holds true in many cases, not all cases. We can never generalize everything and everyone. We could, but it's not very effective. It's not logical to do that. But as a rule of thumb, we can probably say that rich people bring less violent crimes into a country than poor people. Rich people might be criminals, they might commit to certain crimes, but very rarely, or rarely, they'd commit to violent crimes. We're talking rape, murder, serious crimes. They typically don't do that. Very rarely you would find a rich person do something like that. It can happen, so I'm not saying rich people are exempt from such crimes, because they're not. But oftentimes, those people, rich people, they don't really commit to such crimes. They might, however, commit to different crimes, including corruption, tax evasion. We're talking about serious crimes here as well. We could say that rich people, wealthy people, people with a high net worth, if they move to a country, they typically don't bring violence with them. I think that's logical to suggest that, and I think it holds true in many cases, not all cases again, but in many cases I think that holds true. Another plus is when a rich person moves to a country and obtains residence by investment through company formation, through starting a business, through employing people. That could be another big plus. And when we take a look at Portugal's Golden Visa program, I mean what it used to be in the past, because there was an option for wealthy people to come to Portugal and start a business, hire people. That is a proven way to add to the economy. It's a proven way to make a country a better place. And if people did that, then they did a really good job. They considered others. And by starting a business, employing people, you were uplifting the whole economy. You are improving the whole economy, improving the gross domestic product of that country. The more goods and services the country produces and sells during a given year, the better it is for that country, because the gross domestic product grows as a result of your contribution if you decide to do that. So I think we have two distinct pluses here. On the left side, two distinct pluses. Let's have a look at the minuses. Portugal's NHR regime has offered great tax incentives and tax breaks to the wealthy. And what that means is that wealthy residents, new residents to Portugal, are typically exempt from paying taxes on their foreign sourced income. Locally sourced income is still taxable. It was still taxable, but at a lower tax rate in some cases. That was a distinct benefit, again, for the wealthy, but the locals didn't really benefit from that. Neither does the government benefit from that. If the government collects less tax revenue, we can't really say that the country benefits from such a great offer. The people don't benefit. The system doesn't benefit. The only person who benefits from such a great incentive is, of course, the rich person moving to Portugal. Here now we have, again, in the right column under minuses, we have a definite disadvantage here, again, for the country. This is a big fat minus. And this income tax break was offered for years. You can imagine the amount of taxes that the country lost as a result of offering this. Another big problem here, which is not another minus, however, it is a big problem, and that is how rich people are choosing places that allow them to get even richer. And they get richer by not paying taxes, by being handed tax breaks. So you obviously attract people that value tax breaks more than the actual country they're moving to. If that country, and in this very instance, the country is Portugal, would not have offered such a great tax incentive, thousands of people would not have moved to Portugal. So what I'm trying to say here is that the key benefit, the great tax incentive, the tax break, attracted more people than would have come to Portugal if that tax break would not have been offered by the government. Another big fat minus is, of course, that these people that came in, many of them, gotta have a look at the statistics, but many of them qualified through the residence by investment by purchasing real estate. Most people didn't open up a company and hire local people. Why didn't they do it? Well, it's complicated, takes a much bigger budget than probably in a different country you were told to hire 10 people, and hiring 10 people is a big responsibility. Putting, let's say, hundreds of thousands of euros at risk is a big deal. Entrepreneurs typically don't do that unless they can make enough money from this deal. And so what a lot of people did instead is, and that's another big minus, is that they purchased real estate in the downtown areas of the major cities, including Lisbon and Porto. That's again a big minus. If you have a nice property in a great area, chances are the value of that property will go up. The property will appreciate in value, and that's important, right? If you want to rent it out, if you want to flip it a couple years later, decade later, it's oftentimes a very good investment. Much better than keeping your money in the bank. Oftentimes also much better than investing in stocks. A lot of the times people don't know much about investing in securities, stocks, highly risky assets. So people usually do a lot better keeping their money in real estate. It's more predictable. Fewer things can go wrong. It does require expertise, but it's a proven way to create wealth. So we had people that came in without paying taxes. We had people that came in without incorporating a company, without hiring people. without contributing to the economy. Another minus is that they just don't learn the local language. If you want to live in Portugal, you better learn Portuguese. Whether it takes a year or 7 years for you to become fluent in Portuguese, you better make an effort because you are living in Portugal. And I think you have the responsibility to blend in. And you can only blend in when you speak the language and when you respect your country. Another minus is that this program attracted people who committed to tax evasion, money laundering. Based on the pluses and minuses that we just discussed, it is very obvious to see that the wealthy expats won and the locals lost in this very specific instance. Of course, Portugal's Golden Visa program is just one program out of many that functions by the same core principles. And again, we got two distinct approaches here. We got the self-centered approach. It's all about me. It's all about what I want. But then we have the selfless approach, which is it's about the people, it's about the community. Yes, it's about me as well, but it's also about the environment. It's about the people, it's about the economy, it's about the whole system. Am I making it better or am I making it worse? It's a very important question to ask. Like I already said at the beginning of the video, I shot a couple videos in the past talking about residence by investment and citizenship by investment programs and what the truth is, what I think about these programs, who benefits and who loses. One of the most legitimate ways for a wealthy person to get into any country is by incorporating a company, building a business, hiring people, paying taxes, and making the country a better place. That's what it's all about. And on top of that, one must not neglect cultural integration, such as engaging with the locals, respecting the country, learning about the country, and speaking the local language. Some really, really important things that one must not forget. And let's be honest here. Just thinking about me, can create results. I can create results. I can do this. I can do that. However, what I does not do, what I can never do is lead effectively. I does not lead effectively. I does not consider others effectively. It just doesn't. The European Union Parliament put a lot of pressure on residence by investment and citizenship by investment countries so that these countries can close their respective programs. Why do you think Portugal's government decided to close the Golden Visa program? Was it really because locals were outpriced? Was it because rich foreigners purchased too much real estate in the major cities? What are your thoughts? Leave a comment below and let us know. Subscribe now and turn on alerts to never miss any of my future nomadism, dating, and business advice videos. Thank you for watching.